I'm Dominic and I have the three massive mistakes that frustrate owners, landscape owners in specific, while they're growing their company and trying to make more profits. This is the third of the three-part series, and I wanted to introduce and say hello to you so you could see who I am, and we could be able to work it through here. Three excellent webinars, but two of them were exceptional, had some great guests and great information, great tools. So now I'm going to be able to put a PowerPoint together. And I'm going to show you what the one mistake, the number three mistake, but it's really the most important mistake that owners make while they're growing their company. So we're going to look at that just shortly with a PowerPoint presentation, and I'm going to tell you what this mistake is. I'm going to show you why it's important to not have it in your company, how to avoid it, and lastly, there's going to be processes and systems that we're going to go over to show you how you can put these things together, how you can connect the departments, and how you can be able to avoid these three mistakes. So thank you and welcome. My name is Dominic and on with the webinar. Three massive mistakes that frustrates landscape owners and snow contractor owners while they're growing their company, while they're growing and making more profits. It's a very frustrating thing. My name is Dominic I am a creator and educator for 7 to 7 Best Business and Life Strategy. I am the treasurer of National Hispanic Landscape Alliance. And we had two great shows, great webinars, great guests, great content, and great giveaways the last 2 weeks. Now let me tell you a little bit about myself before we start, so this way you know who you're listening to and why you're listening to me. My name is Dominic and I'm pretty much a probably 30-plus year veteran of the landscape and green and white industry. I started back in the 70s. I started as you get a truck, you get a lawnmower, you get a weed whacker. No, back then it was just a hand trimmer, and you made money. You went on, you just was an enjoyable time of year during high school and college. And back in those days, we could be able to pay for our things that we could do. It was just an amazing time of the year. So I graduated it as a computer engineer, but decided against it. I decided to become a landscaper. So in 1986, I joined a partnership, $400,000 landscape snow company in New England. And in 10 years, we grew to about 750 and really set a tone. We had a great company, great people, great clientele. We're full of piss and vinegar, and just loved what we did. But that's when things started going crazy. 750 was a lot different than 400. 4 or 5 crews and down to about 8 to 10 crews started getting a little bit chaotic. And that's when the things started really bottlenecking. From working 24/7, I mean, I'm talking about getting up in the morning, going in there, setting up the 8 to 10 crews, going down and making sure everybody has the right equipment, the right materials, and going over the schedule with them, writing it up, answering any questions, and getting them out of the doors. This thing was about an hour and a half endeavor every morning. Then I'd load my truck up and then get out there and do my work. And then I'd take a break and jump into the truck and go visit various people all around. After that, I got back. You unload all the trucks. You take out all the information. You go over. I went over with my partner all the work that we did, had some supper, and then back into the office for accounts payables, accounts receivables, payroll, you name it, I did it. And then look at the schedule for the next day. Is my turning point. I was blessed with some triplets, and that was where I just had a time that said to myself is I need to make a difference with my family. I needed to be able to go into my family and do the things that was necessary. I also had to run a business to be able to afford all these things. So that's when I made a decision. My partner and I made a decision to start our work and start our growth and do things in a new way. And for 10 years, we grew from 750 to 15 million. Consultants, seminars, webinars, you name it, we did it. Hundreds of books, executive coaches, thousands and thousands of dollars, probably actually close to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But it turned out to be just what we needed. It turned out to be what we needed. We put together one heck of a system, one heck of a processes, and that's how we made it to today. I took the leap in 2011 to become a business owner, to take from the business owner to become a teacher, a coach, and started 7 to 7 Best Business and Life Strategies. And now I'm creator of Lawn Millionaire Workshops and Lawn Millionaire Online Solutions, 3-month program. So that's who I am. And let's do a little bit more. Let's just get on with the show here. Enough about me. Stephen Jobs, beautiful, beautiful icon. But there is a quote that really touches me, and it really speaks to why we're here today. I am convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from non-successful ones is pure perseverance. You know, everybody says this. They go the extra mile. But I don't think almost no one actually does. Most people who go there think, wait, there's no one else here. Why the heck am I here? And they leave never to return. But I got to tell you, this extra mile is a lonely place, but this extra mile is a place for opportunities. It's going to be very hard, but over time, you will become successful. The 3 massive mistakes landscaper owners make that frustrates them while growing their business, making more profits. We went over 2 so far, the first 2, and we gave away some great tools to start right into where you are. The first mistake to review this is the owners and companies do not develop their employees. Now, how to be able to do this? We got 3 areas. We had a value statement. We did hiring techniques. We did orientation. And we did career development. 3 tools that help you in the way that you can now start getting good employees, finding good employees, and retaining good employees. So go back to, if you want to webinar 1. We had a great guest host, Bob Bullock, that was an executive coaches that helps businesses and helps myself and helps many of the companies that we do get to that level. So that is a thing that will help. Just come contact me, Dominic, Domenic, at 7to7best.com, and I will be able to get you those 3 tools. The next mistake that owners make is that there's no strategic objective, there's no vision, and there's no value statement. Now, what is a strategic objective? Quickly, it's your vision of the future. It's who you are, who your clients are, what you perform, what services you give them, where you are located, when you'll be getting to where you are in the future. If you're a $400,000, $500,000, and you want to go to $1 million, well, you have a strategic objective for $1 million. Gave away a great bunch of tools. One was a strategic objective of how to build this 1-page strategic objective, and I also gave away one-on-one strategy sessions. I had about 17 that were open. We filled most of them. That was pretty exciting. It took up quite a bit of time, but it was exciting talking to many of the people of the strategic objective. It's one of the harder things that everyone does. And when you see that kind of stuff, it does have a sense of, it does help. Again, when people come to see you, they know what they're getting into. They know where you're going. They know why you're going with the value statement. So these are the things that are the 2 massive mistakes. And we're going to go right now into the third, one of the biggest mistakes. So it's going to be, I'm going to show you how to avoid this costly mistake. I'm going to show you how to get this practical, some practical tools so you can start doing this in your business today. Mistake number 1, the last but not least, is systems don't run the company. We don't have systems. Now, I compare this to a football team. Last weekend, we had some excellent conference games. But what did you see there? What was the difference? And when you looked at some of these teams, you saw a system. You saw each person playing a position and doing that position to the best. Now, sure, they wore a couple hats. Maybe a running back wore a receiver's hat. Receivers wore a running back hat. Once in a while, you'd see an offensive player would be able to fumble, they'd pick it up and run, become a runner. But there's where the systems now run that team. So they had constant drilling on pass systems, on running systems, on blocking systems, and each of those people played one of those roles. It was a thing that happens that when you have to hire somebody, you hire them for that position. So it's easy to take out a running back and place another one in. It's easy to take out a quarterback that gets hurt or is not performing and pluck in another one because they know what the systems are. They know what their position and they know what their system is. So systems don't run their company. So let's take a look at some of the systems that we're talking about. Here is one about a sales system. This was taken off of the Lawn Mastery Workshops and the online program. These are a sales system. These are 5 separate systems that work in the sales department. Now imagine yourself having these systems run the various processes in the sales, and the salespeople are selling and doing less of this work. I went into a company a while back in the New York area, and we had some of the salespeople and some of the production people in there. So I went to the salespeople, and they were going to hire another salesperson. They needed more sales. So we went down and got one of these big whiteboards and took a look at it, and I said to them, okay, let's review what you do every day. Let's review some of the areas inside and outside that you do that day, the week, the month, quarterly, that kind of thing. It's this way you get a general sense of what you're doing. Well, come to find out, each one of these men and women were taking about 40+% of their time doing paperwork. They were estimating. They were going back to estimate because they didn't get the right information down there. They started writing proposals. They started doing things of that were not, they were sales oriented, but the object of a salesperson is to get in front of get in front of a client. And the object of the salesperson is to close those deals. Now, sure, there's a lot of this busyness going on, but imagine taking this busyness off. So we went in and streamlined their sales systems, and we weaned pretty much down to about 15-20% of their time was doing paperwork, and now the 80%. With those 3 people, it was 4 people, we almost got another salesperson out of it. That's what these things do. So going down to a sales system, you could see that there are 5 main areas. Now, I don't care if you have a software package, or I don't care if you don't, and you have Excel sheets or documents, but these 5 systems are what is being done in that area. So a new client comes to the door, qualification. You qualify them in the office, you qualify them out in the field, you qualify them anywhere that you are. You need to know how to qualify them to make sure that you are servicing the right client. You have systems of estimating, work orders. If it's a snow company, what do you do? What do you measure? What do you take pictures of? What do you look for? If it's a landscaping company or a lawn care company, how big is the lawn? How big are the beds? How many shrubs do they have? All these things are just a list. Imagine having a list that anybody could go and estimate, check it right off. Proposal templates. What happens when it comes back? And after it was approved, you pop it right in these proposals. And then you track these things. Where are you? What stage are you in? First, second, third? Is it in the hands of the client? Does it have to be redone? And last but not least, you go into the signed contracts. These are the sales systems of there. This is what I am speaking of. Now, salespeople are out there selling, and maybe you would be able to hire or even reduce it with these systems to have a less of busy work. The busy work that really doesn't make any difference on closing deals. And that's the key. Now, what happens here is how are they connected? The systems, these departments must be connected. So how does the sales department connect to production? How do sales connect to accounting? How do accounting get connected back up to sales? These are the systems in blue that you see that are taken and developed. It takes more time in the beginning, but you're going to give production more time to do their work. Quickly, they are client profiles. They're developed from the contract packet. Parameter sheets for production and accounting. One sheet informational tools to get there, to get to know what has to be done. Then there's pre-season work orders. You see something in there for accounting. Well, yes, you have to set the client up. If you have QuickBooks or you have a spreadsheet or any software or any file cabinet, make work orders up. Now they go right down a list. It only has to be one sheet of paper, but still it's a list of what has to be done. Same thing with production. If you sold something, you want to know what you sold. And then you have the yearly service boards. These are the boards that gets the information, gets the work orders into the areas. You know where you are, when you are, and how you are. Here's another package that we have. Okay, I have a question on the last one here. One of our participants asked, what is the yearly service board and how are we connected to the production department? Okay, let me see if I can understand this. I think this is a very good question, is because you're asking how the sales can help production manage their work. Well, once this contract is sold, let's use an example, lawn maintenance. You sold spring cleanup, you sold a mulching, you sold a summer pruning, you sold cutting, you sold weeding, you sold fall. You sold these 6 areas that you sold. Well, yearly service boards should have a way of managing those 5 or 6 work orders. So these 5 or 6 work orders that they would be in and posted onto these boards. So now production, when it comes up to spring cleanup, there should be a list right there of who has spring cleanup. And work orders are generated for those clients. When you have mulching, if you have 100 clients and 30 of them have mulch, you should have 30 checkoffs there. When it comes time to do that work, that service board should help you be able to find the work orders and to be able to bring them to the production area of the scheduling board. When it comes time to do fall cleanup, maybe you sold 2 fall cleanups in different areas, one in October and one after Thanksgiving, for example. Well, they should be on that board of how many fall cleanups that you sold, what clients they are. So this way you're ready. So when you could give them a cross, and you could use these boards many facets. You could do them where you cross them off. You could use them where you erase them. I like to be able to mine was color coordinated. Everything that was finished, I had it in red, so I knew that it was done. It's very easy to walk by a board like that and be able to see something of the nature of what wasn't done. Okay, I have another question here. Let me see this here. Preseason work orders. Okay, I have a question on here is, what happens, you have preseason work orders. Well, they're more than, what are preseason work orders? Okay, preseason work orders. It would be in the beginning of a season. This is for snow and for springtime. So during the season before snow falls and before the season of spring cleanup, you'd have a new client came in, or even an old client that you wanted to update. Accounting. What does accounting do? Well, we had in our company QuickBooks. So we sat down and have a list of what has to be entered in QuickBooks to set up that client. So the billing addresses, the address that the property addresses, the people to contact, the names, the numbers, any kind of notes. Setting up the file cabinet. We had little client profiles that had contact sheet, notes, open invoices, closed invoices. So that was set up in pre-season. This way now we're ready for work to come through, work to be billed, and work to be filed. So pre-season work orders for production. Let's use an example for snow, for instance. Um, for all our snow people here, I'm looking through here. Yes, we have quite a few of the snow people in the Chicago area, the Calgary area. Yes, well, the snow area, what would you do in production? Well, you would be able to have a preseason work of going to the job, marking it up, putting stakes down, taking pictures of damaged area, taking pictures of every area, marking off the hazard areas, maybe talking to the client, maybe reviewing the contract with them, going over where to put the snow. All the things necessary for people in the production, in the field, to make sure that the first storm goes out correctly. Maybe you have a preseason work order to go over, if you have subcontractors or your team, to go over and review the work that has to be done. Also, there's productions that be able to actually, how does the work order look? The routes look. These are pre-season work orders to be able to get that client up to snuff inside as well as outside. Okay, so let's take a look at some connective tissues now in the production department to the office. So when this comes down to, like I mentioned to you, is that you did the pre-season things. From the contract packet number 1, it goes into the client profile, it goes into computer, it goes into the office, and it goes into production. But what happens in the production area? These are systems and processes from the Lawn Millionaire workshop that develops work order generations, work order boards, material boards, and scheduling boards. Now the production has the tools, the kind of the busy stuff. They're important. Don't get me wrong. It is very important. But it just tells you, if you had a tool to make it easy, had a tool to manage your work orders, you had a tool to manage your boards, you had tools to manage your schedule board. Less time searching for things, more time to see if there's any kind of problems with time, more time to be able to talk to clients, more time to be able to talk to your production, your crews. That's how you get more time, more resources out. I mean, you could just get more work out of your resources without having to do and hire more resources. Now, work order completion is another little tidbit of connective tissues. Once you have it completed and verified, it goes into the invoice process. Again, you have a process that connects the production department to the office department. Lawn Millionaire systems, processes, and step-by-step. This is a step-by-step process. This ran a $15 million company. This also ran many of the companies that I've been in, to be able to get more work out of your resources so you make more profits to be able to grow later. Education systems, where you have to educate this information. And here's a kind of a tool that I've used with really good results. You have the departments, the systems, the templates, and employees going down on the left. And then you have the different departments going across the top, the different systems they use, the different templates, and the employees that use that. So now, when you have an education, each department knows what their work is. Also, each department knows how they're going to be working with the other departments. Because we had a little secret among all the work and the clients here. We treated everybody like a client. Departments treated other departments like clients. Employees treated other employees like a client. When you have that, you will actually be able to manage less management, because you're going to give your client everything. Could you imagine if the sales department knew that production department was a client? They would give them everything they needed as quick as possible. This is the object. This is how you connect these tissues here. I've had some other work. If you could see here, contract packet that I told you went to parameter sheets, went to the capacity boards and the client's boards. On the left, you see that you have contract packets, and these are all the various things in a contract packet. They went to parameter sheets, the things that needed to go into these each different departments, and then they went into production department and to capacity boards. You have the production department that has capacity boards and clients boards and schedule boards. And then you have work order management. So you have something from going from production to accounting to production again. You have production that goes into accounting, that goes back into production for verification and goes back in for invoicing. Just a way to do this. So this is a quick overview of the mistake that many companies make. These three mistakes, hands down, will produce successful companies when you avoid them and you work on them. When you have development, when you have tools to develop your people, now your employees are going to become better and better and better. Now they're your team. They're not just workers. When you have a vision and you have a value statement, now you know where you're going and when you're going to get there and the why of your company. And so do your employees. They can make decisions from that. And lastly, these developed employees that follow a vision have now systems that could be able to make big decisions without the problems that are so. When you go away for a day, you go away for a week, you get hurt, you get sick. Well, knowing what your vision is, knowing what you stand for, how you've been developed with the systems and processes, a lot of the work that the men and women in your company will be doing will be done in a way that you would be doing this. Don't forget, your vision is your vision. It's a vision of all your whole company, but it's still your vision. You are the leader. Your values truly do come from you. If you are a employee oriented, or you are client oriented, you are system oriented, you are a hustler, you are honest, you are you give your all. These are values that you want to pass on. If just the opposite, if you are chaotic or you wear many hats, that's what your real values are, no matter what you write down. So these are the things that you have in your arsenal. Now, there's one thing that all business owners that they have in common. There's only one way to bring in revenues. That one way and only one way is sales. So the more sales you have, the more revenues you have. Now, you're gonna say is how am I going to sell more, Dom? I wear so many hats as it is. How do I get the time to sell when I'm really bogged down with every aspect of the business and my men and women are overworked? They're bogged down. But bogged down with every aspect of the business, it will not get you there, period. If you can't sell or have enough time to sell, if you don't even have enough time to talk to your clients, I know both you and I know this, your business is not going to take off. Your business is going to run you in the ground. It's going to frustrate the hell out of you. So nothing else will bring in the revenue in the business. This frustration, is trying to create long-term systems. I created systems. I created career development. I had a strategic objective. I had the three legs of a stool, the three parts of a pyramid. When you have these three working together, you have a very stable company. But how do you get there? How do you struggle going from 4 to 750? And you struggled, but then when it starts clearing, going 750 to 15 million. Now, most system development out there, I have to tell you, is not getting the results. I work with many primary business owners. They want to grow. They want to make more profits, and they know they need the fastest and the best way to grow their business. But they don't. The most of the people I talk to, the ones they say is, yeah, they want to grow, but really what they're also saying is, I want to make more profits. I want to spend more time with my family. Now, the truth is, unless you learn to create and implement systems effectively, you won't grow a fraction of what you're meant to because you won't have the time to grow. If you want to grow your dream company and grow with more profits, you must learn how to create and implement systems. Now, tragically, I have been to many seminars. I speak at the seminars. I talk to many of these owners. I have been in over 24 companies over the last 3 years. They don't know how to work and how to create incredible landscape companies with the systems. They try. It really is. You put a system in, you work it, and it's working okay, and then the shit hits the fan, and you go back, and most of your people go back to the way you've been doing things. Sooner or later, it weeds itself out, and you have no system. So it's a thing that you can do it yourself. There's actually 3 ways. You could do it yourself, but it will take you a long time. Plus, you need to be working in your company. You could do nothing, and you would be where you are 5 years from now. There's another way to create the best systems and to be able to build them, implement it, and make sure that your employees do the work they have. And that is with this $1 million, the Lawn Millionaire workshops and the Lawn Millionaire online programs. I know because I know how this works, because these are the exact step-by-step systems that I use. You have to learn to create, and you have to learn how to implement it. It's as simple as that. You also need this systematic business development playbook. I have to look back. I built mine. Blood, sweat, tears, and a hell of a lot of money. But I have that now. I have a systematic approach, step by step by step, that builds on itself. And you need a mentor. You need someone to help you when things are not going correctly, systems aren't working correctly, people aren't doing the systems correctly, people aren't working together. You need this mentor. You need a guide. With these 2 things, you will be able to put the fundamental systems down. You'll be able to build your foundation to get these more profits, and then look out, because you're going to start growing. So I know, so many landscapers, they're working their butts off. They're running their business. They're taking care of their families. They're taking care of their clients, and they're trying to make a difference. But they are wasting thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours on system development strategies that don't work. They desperately want the freedom that that own your own business gives you. But you want to reach and help people. You need more. You need to understand that systematic business development playbook and being mentored is the fastest way to get there. Let me see. You take all this information, and everywhere we go, there's so much information. You go to these great shows, these great national and these great regionals. There's so much information, but really, how many are there really tools that you could take back and put into your company? And how many ways of you be able to do it that you could be able to come back and build another system, and they're going to work together. So I have to say is that I combine decades of education, mentorship, training, experience, my heart and soul, and I created a Lawn Millionaire workshop. And you'll be able to, into this workshop, your master system creation and development, better than 90% of the industry. You'll know how to create, but you also know how to implement them. Now, I am not going to be making a formal offer for the Lawn Millionaire Workshop program in this webinar. Because I feel like expecting you to make a decision about spending 3 days with me after a short period of time, it's not intimate. It's not realistic. I'd rather build a little more relationship with you. I'd rather give you more value, and I'm interested in hearing more about what your struggles are, what you're working on. When we be able to work together, we have more relationship, and you want to hear about the 3-day program, great. I will be able to do that. So these last 2 webinars, I got a ton of requests. I asked via the email and social media. I wanted some personal advice on helping you create and implement systems in their company. They want, the questions that I had, they let me look, Dom, look at my system, look at my specific business, and show me how system systematic, the business playbook would work best for me and my employees. So I'm listening to them and I'm saying, well, listen, I'm responding with a very cool opportunity. Here's our opportunity. You have a private one-on-one lawn millionaire strategy session. You could go onto the site. You could either email me at Dominic, Domenic, at 707best.com, or just type in bookeddominic.com, BOOKDOMENIC.com, and schedule a session, and we will review these 3 areas and take a peek at what you have and what you don't have. Now, I had 17 sessions so far. I say about 15 out of 17 sessions. I am going to have room for 10 of these over the next week. And please, it would be great to be able to have a little more value, to give you a little bit more value with this webinar series. So how I usually do this, I usually send you a questionnaire, and right after the questionnaire, it gives me a little more information, and we set up some time. During our time together, we'll work on identify the one most leveraged place you need to enhance your system development and creation efforts. You know, we'll uncover the single best way to start getting more profits with ease. Now, we may be able to have time to even build a small system right there in the call. But what I will guarantee you is that we walk away with our time together with something that you can use immediately to be able to start building your foundation. So I want to thank you for trusting me with your time and energy. I want to thank you for all of the questions. I have just some great emails, questions back, and we had some great tools to send to you. My number one goal is to provide you with immense value during these sessions and an opportunity to get some private expert coaching with me on your growth strategy. Now, I insist that you wait until after the strategy session over to ask me questions about my programs, though. I want to be absolutely sure that you received value first. So click on any of these icons you see on here. It's again Dominic, Domenic at 707best.com or bookdominic.com. And let's talk about this investment. Let's work on your business, and let's have one of these lawn millionaire strategy sessions. We're going to identify, which I love the most, the single best point of leverage, a single area that you need developed. And you'll be shocked how little the investment is of your time. And then you'll be shocked about, again, how we could also work together. So let's sign up for the sessions. Don't wait. There's only 10 available. And let's be able to work on your business. So my name is Dominic A. Chiarella. I'm a student, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, and I'm a speaker. I love what I do. I love helping you become successful in your business. This is Dominic A. Chiarella, 707 Best Business in Life, and also treasurer of the National Hispanic Landscape Alliance. Thank you very much.